Hello everyone, this is Kieran from Keys Minis. Today we're going to be painting a zombie figure. So with a base mixture of Bugman's Glow and Genestealer Purple, you're just going to base coat the model. I tend to work in glazing layers usually, so this may take one or two good layers if you're just thinning your paint down naturally. But usually with a glazing layer it may take about 4 or 5 good layers to get a coverage. So just work across the skin tone area. I tend to work down in brush strokes just in one direction to make it a bit easier, but obviously just work around. I'm using one of these Warm Bristle Studio Art painting handles, and they're really good. They've got good flexibility in the head, so they're great for movements in these things. But yeah, just here I'm on a second layer. I think I applied probably around 3 layers in total. So this actual recipe I'm using, I actually used it on some Deathguard when I painted for 40 hours of 40k. It was a recipe we used across the team to paint their flesh. It gives like a nice purpley undertone to the skin tone, and creates some nice shadow effects. Next up I'm going to be using Caribou Crimson, and all I'm going to do is just shade in basically any flesh patches that are torn. So on this male zombie here, there's quite a few bits that are a bit of flesh torn away or whatever. So just gently shading in, just using a thin layer of Caribou Crimson to colour them in. Probably let it dry and maybe use around 2 more layers to build up a deeper shadow if you want to. It's entirely up to you. This recipe can be done really quickly, or you can paint it a little bit more slowly and take your time to get the desired effects that you want. So around the rat area, there's some areas on the back here. I'm just going to shade in that Caribou Crimson and bring it up. Next up, I'm using a base mix again of that Genestealer's Purple and Bugman's Glow. Sorry, I forgot what it was then. And I'm just going to add in a little bit of Cadian flesh. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back across the fleshy areas and just add more contrast into the skin tone by working in a smaller area, probably around 70-80% of the model that I've already coloured in with that base mix. And just highlighting mainly on raised areas up to where the light might be showing. So up on the top of the face, a little bit under the cheeks, on the bottom where the head's bent over, but not so much. With this, again, you can do as many layers as you want. It's entirely up to you how much you want to build this up. So mainly in this process, I'm just shown with one base mix, but I do tend to use this and add in a little bit more Cadian each time and build it up to a pure Cadian flesh tone highlight. Again, this recipe you can push it from just being a basic quick thing, or if you want to build up depth in the contrast of the model, then just add in more Cadian flesh tone to that mix and just keep highlighting up until you feel like you've got a good base, a good coverage of the layer. And next, yeah, I did. I just pure highlighted, again, following the same process, up with Cadian, just pure highlight of Cadian flesh tone, really working on the tops of the models. Now this skin tone kind of gives off, it still gives off a kind of warm, recently dead feel. When I finished it off, I was kind of, maybe I could have pushed it to more rotten flesh. And all you have to do, all you tend to have to do to change that recipe up is probably just mix out the Cadian flesh tone with a Kislev flesh tone, and you're going to get something very similar in terms of effect. Except obviously Kislev's a lot lighter, so you could get up to a lighter layer straight away, and you're going to create more of a rotten, worn, haggard look. I really like how this gives the purple shadows from that base mix in like the shadowed areas. So you work on like the upper parts of the muscles, the fingers, on any raised areas, and kind of leave that Genestealer effect, Genestealer Bugman's Glow effect in the shadows, and it creates a really nice looking piece at the end of the day. Next I'm going to be pushing it up. I'm going to add in some Ironarch skin into just pure Cadian flesh, and now I'm just going to really focus on areas around the eyes, any rotten flesh that's peeling away, the upper parts of the chest where the light's catching it, like on the elbows. Again, it depends on which type of model you're painting. I'm obviously painting one from the Cursed City range here. Really lovely models with lots of detail. If you're painting kind of like the Deathguard like we did, obviously it was kind of like tongues and things hanging out of their plates, armour. It's the same process, but you're just going to be working on the higher raised areas towards the top of the tongue. Here obviously I'm working on like the upper shoulders. I'm going to work around like I said, the rotten flesh, tops of the feet, the muscle on the calf muscle, on the top raised bit, on the back, because the back's kind of arched over. I'm going to be working on like the lower and topper areas of the back. And again, where I've done like, each time I've done a layer, I'm just going to build up onto the smaller raised areas. So with this, this part I'm probably hitting more points of highlight than anything. If you really want to push it, you can just go with a pure Ironarch skin as well afterwards, and again just hit the small points around the eye, on the like eyebrows, up on the raised part of the head where it's showing. Anyway, I'm going to be coming back with kind of regular tutorials, so if you've enjoyed this one, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll be back real soon, probably next Tuesday, with another tutorial. I've got quite a few filmed, and I'm going to be working on a lot as I've got a new setup. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon. Take care.